Hey guys, what's up? I'm back and we're continuing to work on the 97 Mustang Cobra. This time we're going to try to do a complete suspension overhaul. We got 1-inch lowering springs from BMR. We have the front and rear struts that are specifically for lowered cars from Mookie. I think they're the MKIs. We got the Gabriel quad shock. I just went with the factory one. We got front and rear new brake rotors from Power Stop. We got the R1 performance brake pads to go with it. We got an SR performance rear strut tower bar. We got new Technofit brake lines. We're also going to be throwing on some wheel spacers to try to get that gap pushed out. Typically, I'm not a big fan of those, but I think for this setup and for just kind of how it's just going to be a fun driver's car, it'll work okay. We got the max speeding lower control arms, as well as Prothane inserts for all the springs and for the sway bars as well. We got the front inserts there. We have a set of camber adjustment bolts from Eibach in order to make sure the camber is set up right. We got some liquid moly brake fluid. We got some new lighting, as you can see there, that we're gonna do for the front. And I think with that, like, this car is gonna really come together and should be a lot of fun to drive afterwards. So with that, let's get to it and let's get these parts thrown on. All right, let's go. All right, first task, let's go ahead and get these wheels off and start getting prepped to do the projects. These little lug nut remover nylon things are great from scratching your wheel. I need to get some bigger ones for the Z, but I'll put the link for them. I think they really do work well. All right guys, since I'm gonna be replacing 90% of the stuff in here anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the caliper and the rotor. That'll just give me more space to get into the spring and the strut. And then I'll put it back on. I was debating if I'll do one system at a time. That's typically what I'll do. But this time I may just do every side complete, then move on to the other, but we'll see. We'll just see how it works out as we move forward. All right, the first thing we gotta do is remove these brackets right here for the brakes. For the brake calipers. They're 15mm bolts, so I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out and take those things off. I just went ahead and put my box in 15 right here. I'm just gonna break it loose. All right, smack that loose with the hammer. Go to my ratcheting wrench. All right, that's pretty loose. I'm not gonna pull that out all the way until I get the other one loosened. So that back bolt's being a little difficult. I'm just gonna go ahead and get some penetrating oil on here. This stuff works great from WD-40. I'm actually gonna go around and do all of the bolts that I'm gonna be taking off. So hopefully that makes this whole task a little bit easier. Man, this one was super tight on there. I had to switch over to the actual hammer. There it goes. A power tool doesn't fit in there, so I had to do it this way. There we go. Nice. Got the first one out. There's the top one. All right, and the bottom one. All right, let's see if this thing just comes off. There we go. All right, I was thinking about it. Since I'm gonna do the brake line and everything anyway, I think I'm just gonna remove it completely and go from there. So it's a 16mm. There we go. All right, got that. All right, easy. The next thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and pull off this rotor. We got this little key right here on them. Sometimes these things will be easy and sometimes they're not. We just kind of pry them away from the threads. They lock into the threads. So I'm gonna do that really quick. That's all there is to it. I'm just gonna thread this off. I can reuse these. All right, when it gets off, before I put it back in, I'll just end up opening these up a little bit so I can just slide it on. It might actually slide on anyway. All right, there's the second one. Let's see if this thing's gonna slide off without, okay. Nope, so. There it goes. Before I start disconnecting all the stuff on the bottom, I'm gonna go ahead and take this off while it's tight. And I already went ahead and sprayed it with that penetrating lubricant. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, got that off. Easy peasy. All right, with the top hat bolt off, I'm gonna start disconnecting the rest of the strut hardware. This 21 on the back side, got the 24 here. There we go. Pretty easy. This will get off the ABS cable. So just get that out of the way, and then now we will have access to the rest of it. Right here is the ABS sensor. I'm gonna go ahead and remove that because when I go to drop the spring, it's gonna put a lot of tension on the cable. So I think if I just get rid of this now, it'll be better. This is a 1/4 inch bolt, and then it should come straight out like this. There, and then it comes out. Now to start removing the strut. I'm gonna start with this top one, 24 again, and 21 on the back. There we go. Let's get this bottom one. All right, let's see if these bolts come out. Oh, that one came out relatively easy. All right, got that one out. Let's see if I got enough clearance to pull the strut. Look at that, super easy, and it's out. Next thing, I'm gonna go ahead and move the sway bar so I can allow this A-arm to drop in order to get the spring out. Let's see if it's spinning. There it goes. Be careful with that. Typically, I put the jack underneath that. I probably should have. That would have been the safer way to do it, but I did not do it this time. All right, I went ahead and put my spring compressor on here to help pull this together and see if I can get this out. Nice. Just like any project, I'm gonna go ahead and just spray all this, or try to clean this out and then spray it down. All right, now it's time to tackle the sway bar in order to get the bushings swapped out. Pretty easy. Go. That, and then we'll get the new one put back on. All right, just pull these apart like that, and then you got the bushing in here, and we'll go ahead and pull this one out, this, and then we'll get ready to put the new one in. Got the new polyurethane bushing. I'm gonna lube it up, not really being stingy or on the grease. Don't want any noise coming from it. Lube it all the way around like that. Got this, I already wiped it down. I'm gonna try to attempt to see if I can, so I don't have to smear it all over. There we go. Is that gonna work? All right. All right. All right. I'll take these gloves off because now they're all sticky. Let's get some new ones. Get my trusty drill back and rolling. That, right? All right, good to go. With all that stuff out of the way, I'm gonna attempt to pop out this brake line, see if I can swap these brake lines out. And I'm gonna use my bent screwdriver, always comes in handy. There we go. All right, got that clip out of the way. Got a little 10 mil right here. There we go. Oh, I'm leaking. All right. Got the new line here. Should be good. Came with a new plastic cap here. Just it goes. All right. Now I'm gonna get ready for the spring install. I got the polyurethane for the spring perch. I'm just gonna spray some silicone spray in there. And then I'm gonna get in here like this and just wrap it around. Like that. And that should be good. And that'll be the bottom side. This is for the top. This is just gonna sit on here like this. And we will find out. I have a tool that I used on my Foxbody, but we'll see if we have to use it for this one and get this in. Now it's time to get the spring in. These can be a little bit tricky. I had a tool from my Foxbody that I used last time. I don't know if it's gonna be required for this one, but we will see. We'll just kind of go along and see what happens. But what I like to do is you gotta get the top in the spring hat first, like that. Then you try to get this lined up. Then we're gonna try to get this one on the bottom perch like that. And then get this thing pushed down. Gotta get that lined up. There we go. And see how it's kind of lined up like that? Just spin it. It should be a little easier only because these springs are shorter than the other ones. It should be like right there. And then we're gonna get the jack and start jacking it up. All right, got it all lined up. I got my jack underneath. We'll start jacking it up slowly. Let's keep jacking this up. Gonna make sure we get this thing lined up. Here it goes. Got the sway bar in. Let's get this thrown on. All right, I did the old Air Force check. It's about a sideways thumb high. Let's see. All right, it's about perfect. There we go. I got the sway bar back together. I got the spring in. I got it on the perch. I got the all the bushings in and the fuel line. So let's go ahead and get the strut put back down in. And then from there, we will put the strut back together, and then we will do the brakes. Oh man, I'm sweating. Got the new strut here. Gonna clip this off. There we go. So far, these struts look pretty good. I'm gonna throw this up through the strut tower and get it lined up and see how it fits in here. One more thing before I put those up, I'm gonna put the dust covers on them. Got the old one here. Before that, I'm gonna transfer over these pieces over into the new one. So go ahead and clean this up. All right, here's the top hat. Got this stuff prepped. Let's see if I can get this through. There we go. And it comes with a lock nut. There we go. And then we'll go back down to the bottom. All right, now let's see if we can get this bolt in the bottom here. We're gonna do the bottom one first. If I can. All right. Got this lined up. Now I just gotta get that bolt in and we are good to go for the lower one. It's time to get the camber bolts so I can get this thing aligned properly. Let's see if I can get this in. Put the tab at the bottom of it. And then let's see. There we go. I don't think I have any camber in yet, just to, you know, make sure that it adjusts it. I don't know what it'll need once it's lowered, but I'll have my alignment shop figure that out. Got the camber bolt here on top. I got it set to negative camber. I'm gonna screw this one in. All right, I don't want to over tighten it quite yet. All right, got the top camber bolt in. Now the bottom. All right, with the strut back on and the camber bolt set up, now we got to put the sensor back on. like that. This time I'm gonna have to go to the top, to the bottom with this bolt, just because the bolt is different now because I'm using camber adjustment bolts on the top. But not an issue. Still a 24. All right, should be good. With that bracket in, now we got to put in the sensor. As you can see, it comes through right here, and then I just put the bolt in the back side, and we are good to go. Come back up here, the strut tire mount, tighten that up. Had to grab a 24mm wrench with my big flathead in order to tighten this down because the new one comes with a lock nut. I'm wondering if I should have just used the old one, but this is better hardware, and it'll be better overall. So I'm just gonna tighten this up. All right, now let's get started on this brake. So let's see, we gotta pop this pin out here. Let's see if I can get this out now. All right, these pads actually aren't that bad. Got those out. Let's clean this up. Got the new pads here. See how these things look. Not bad. I'm thinking I'll put the bracket back on before I put these things on. All right, well, I got this thing off. I'm gonna go ahead and push in the pistons. Got that done. Now I gotta get the new pads in. I got my first pad here. Just get some grease here. Don't put too much, but it looks like I got a little much, but that'll be okay. Okay, like that. Got my second one. Same thing, let's grease it up. All right, let's get the new rotor on and then see how it goes. Throw the rotor on. Before I do that, I'm just gonna grab a little bit of this anti-seize. Hopefully it doesn't get us stuck this time. Just kind of smear it on here. A little bit of this stuff goes a long way. All right, that should be good. All right, this one's for the front passenger side, like that. Next thing, we gotta get this on. This is the bracket for the calipers. That one started. That one started. Got my 15 mil right here. All right. All right, looking good. All right, got the rotor on. Front passenger side, as it says. I got my little retainers here. Let's get this on. This one on over here. All right, let's get the rest of the brakes on. So we got these pads all set up. I'm gonna get it in here like this. It sits in there like that. There we go. And it's in. Put that pin back in. There we go. Good to go. I'm going to clean it up. Alright. All I got to do is get that brake line put in. Alright, got the banjo bolts here and the crush rosters on it. That torqued. All right, this one is just a 15. Should be good. All right, we got that side done. It turned out really well. I'm hoping this side goes a little faster now that I know what I'm doing, but we'll see. Well guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We got a lot accomplished. We got the front struts, the front springs, the front disc brakes. We got the bushing inserts. Really got a lot accomplished. Please stick around. Hopefully you like this video, and then part 2 should be coming soon where I wrap it all up and then get it aligned and take it out for a test drive. Really couldn't be happier so far. Got a couple more parts coming in the mail. And then with that said, guys, thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. See you guys later.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do.